Alright, game 2. And we can see KT taking the 1-0 lead against SKT. And we have a substitution. We have Tal coming in for Untara. So we're going to be seeing a different look. Tal in the top lane, so one of the many subs that SKT has been trying out, and we don't see Wolfen yet, so we'll have to see if there is a game 3 that we're going to see possibly Wolfen there in the jungle, but here we have Tal, and frankly I don't know anything about Tal, but SKT has a funny way about finding these diamonds in the rough over in Korean solo queue and molding them into good players that can assist Faker in winning world championships. But so far we have a number of different AD carry bans, 3 so far out of the first 4. Kalista still up. So a targeted ban here of Galio, not wanting Pawn to play that again. So that is most likely something that Coach Koma or Faker had decided that they didn't want to see anymore, and that really played a big factor in that game. And frankly, I didn't speak a lot about Galio. He did what he had to do. It wasn't flashy, but he made it work, and look, it caused the ban. So the 3 major AD carries taken out, and Kalista let open. So SKT is going to really like that. The one left up is Caitlyn, and you could also pick Varus. So those are the 2 AD carries that are left. Really, there shouldn't be any deviation between that. A Leona pick would be unusual. We don't see Leonas very much in pro play, more of a solo queue specialty, but with Aftershock, very strong. And there we see the Varus picking up one of the 80 carries that was left. Choosing, instead of getting a power pick in the top lane or jungle, choosing to choose the 80 carry pick and not give anything away. Braum going over to SKT, they're going to take that up. So bot lane already been decided, and then Azir for Faker, being by far the most played mid laner, going against his signature champion of Rise. So there's his LCK total. Faker, 15 wins, 5 losses, 4.1 KDA. Pretty darn good. So far this year, 6 wins, 6 losses out of the mid lane. We played 12 times so far in week 2. So Smeb now picking the Gnar, so this is interesting. Having just destroyed an SKT Gnar player with his Jace, he's going ahead and picking the Gnar up, even though Jace is not banned. So he doesn't know what the matchup is, and just picking the Gnar is a little bit safer, as Jace can get countered easier than Gnar can. Gnar can still turn into a tank, and he's a little bit harder to gank, that is Gnar, because of the ultimate. Mostly top lane bans, and another targeted ban, and Janna taken away from Mata. So they didn't like the look of that. Mata being able to dictate when the fights are happening and giving his AD carry the shield and his team the ultimate whenever they get low health, and SKT would not want to see that again. Ooh, a classic Mata champ. This is what I want to see. Alistar. The Alistar Varus lane. This is, although it should go fairly even with the SKT lane, This Alistar is looking to roam, is looking to tower dive, making plays. And Mata has had a number of signature games on this champion. Vlad looking like it's going to be the top lane pick, so AP mid and an AP top. Going to round it off with a Jarvan, who's most likely going to be going tank. I would find it very unusual if he went anything other than Cinderhulk. And still the jungler left to pick from KT. I don't like the Shyvana pick. You want to be picking Shyvana when you have a wave clear mid, so it would have worked better over on SKT's side. But generally the Ryze is getting pushed in, and you do not have the mid pressure to be roaming as you would if you had the Azir on your team. So don't like the jungle. And oh, that was kind of neat. I'm actually going to go back to that. We get to see how their lobby is created. Okay, let's just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, how far back did I go here? Wait for it. There you go. Look at that. OGN, LCK, head. Ref 1. OGN, Observer 1. SKT tie, blank, faker, effort. Don't see the ratings or anything like that. Writing's all in Korean. Ah, how neat. Anyways, thought I'd head back. That's kind of a interesting little spectacle, and of course we have to know that that's how they they must do something like that to make the games, and we don't see what goes on behind the scenes because they have a whole production team that's working behind the scenes, making sure that we don't need to see any of that. And I'm going to be looking to see how this SKT top laner picking Vlad is going to be faring against Smeb, who went ahead and blind picked the Gnar. So that's where you put your LCK rookie up against one of the stars of the league in Smeb. And it's really trial by fire. How are you going to do? The Vlad against Gnar matchup should go pretty even. You're supposed to be able to push the wave in with Gnar, but you really don't have much kill pressure on Vlad. You're just trying to push him under tower and deny him CS before he gets too big. Possibly get his tower down first, but not the usual counter matchup we do see Gnars in. There's the man, Faker. All sorts of special drinks for the electrolytes that these players need. So in Korea, they're playing 2 best-of-3 series every week. That's compared with the 2 single matches of the West. So I know a lot of people in North America are saying, "Oh, it's not going to affect, our international chances." I think these are a lot of people that are trying to justify something. Maybe they're from Riot. Let's be clear. It's for ratings. It's for views. It's for excitement in matches. And whereas before only the top teams battling in the best of 3 were really exciting. Now because there's no relegation, these last place teams fighting toward the last half of the year in best of 3s are just such a snooze. Okay, game number 2. Here we're seeing the usual graphic here. There's only one superstar in the world here of League of Legends. His name is Faker. And if SKT were to not win the World Championships this year, you might look that the team will get blown up after 2 years of not successfully winning. This is an organization that prides itself on winning. Faker turned down all kinds of Chinese money to stay in Korea and stay on a winning team because it's just some things that he values more than a few extra dollars. And being truly great, being able to play in Korea around your friends and family, the best league in the world was where you play day in and day out, the best solo queue. And what's an extra couple $100,000 a year, right? When you can have all these other things. So there's a jungle matchup between Score and Blank. Both had very high kill participations, and both had very similar wards placed. Faker had a higher damage percentage, but that's nothing unusual against Pawn. So yes, he had double the damage percentage, but Galio still drew a ban. Deft had a very good Gatling game, putting all kinds of damage out, getting that first tower down. And there the wards placed by Mata significantly higher than by Effort. 20 more wards in the course of the game. Mata also going with Ignite and Thunder. Couple of unseen spellbooks on KT. Just one over on the side of SKT. Guardian picked up for Braum. Aftershock by Mata. Everything else pretty standard. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Farm lead going over to Jarvan initially, so that is a little bit unusual. Score valuing a quick back. Normally don't see a Shyvana going back that fast because of her excellent clearing ability. I'll score a whole level down, not wanting to fight. Blank would love to gank, but they know that the jungler is around this way. Was spotted out with using that Scrying Orb, Vision Plant. Just delaying his Grom a little bit. Another quick back. So this is something I don't normally see from the Shyvanas. And her whole jungle is clear. So knowing where the next camp is going to spawn, making sure to always be as strong as possible, as many wards as possible. And just pretty boring here in the bot lane. They just need to quit watching down here. 2 melee supports, 4 relic shields, nothing's going on. All the LCK and LCS casters have been going on ad nauseum about that, so I will attempt to not. Yes, I agree with everybody. I don't want to see this on the bot lane. I do like seeing the occasional kill down there before 15 minutes. so far slight CS leads for Jarvan, but really that's about it. Everything else is pretty even. I've mentioned that just because it is unusual for a Jarvan to have a CS lead on Shyvana at any point. Generally means things aren't going well for Shyvana, but we've just seen yet another back, so different type of Shyvana strategy, like back every minute. Do 2 to 3 camps, go back. Do 2 to 3 camps, back. 2 to 3 camps, back. Jungler's going to be seen both at level 5. Jarvan placing that zombie ward down. And there's just not a whole lot to get excited about. Yes, you got the cow down to half health. He will be getting his ultimate up in the next minute, so unless there's a dive before he gets level 6, it's really not that important. This is a little bit more exciting with Gnar chunking Vladimir down to less than half. Just going to go ahead and back. Does not look like he backed yet, and neither does it look like Gnar has backed. So picking up the Frostfang in top lane, Blasting Wand. It's going to be going for the upgraded support item, Frost Queen's Claim. It's also got a stopwatch in the top lane, so if you get through his pool and you get through the stopwatch, maybe you'll have a chance to still kill him, or maybe not. Maybe you grew bored of how long you're waiting for him to be targetable, and you just walked away. Kind of like how the Scuttle Crab's doing, just walking away, walking away, walking away. Gold even. No first kill as of yet, no first tower as of yet. Waves are pushed towards Vladimir, but almost no damage to the turret as of yet. Looked like that was nearly stolen by Blank, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. That's it. Other than that, nobody cares if you're close. Nice damage here by Faker, using that blue buff to his advantage, getting those sand soldiers out, going poke, 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 and when he's done that, gonna poke some more. Making the Azir play, and the very quick ultimate hourglass there by Pawn, and very quick reaction time to be able to get that down. I believe he was in the air when he started casting that ultimate. So, nice play by Faker, but even nicer reaction by Pawn. Faker going with the cleanse, and does not have spellbook, so it's going to be sticking with that cleanse for the rest of the game. And when you look at a team that consists of Ryze, Varus, and Alistar, you know you're going to get CC'd at some point, and having that cleanse around, probably a good thing. Smite fight, won by Shyvana. Now, sometimes a play that you can do is you purposely get into a smite fight with the jungler. This really helps if you know you've seen them use smite once within the last 30 seconds or so. So after you've seen them use smite, you get into a smite fight for blue or for a Gromp or a big jungle camp, and then right after you let the jungler use his smite to win to get that either blue buff or Gromp or whatever jungle camp, you then go directly to dragon and start the dragon. So he can contest you and by trying to attack you, but he no longer has a smite to be able to get the objective. So if you have some more team members around and you can kind of get that dragon down within that 5 to 7 second window, then it's a play I like to do as jungle once in a while. Purposely losing a smite fight so that you can go take the more important objective with your still up smite. Now we're seeing the Shyvana really come into her own. 15 creep jungle advantage, and she's going to be starting her counter jungling right now, so getting her advantage first, and then heading over, seeing that these wolves are still up. I'm going to have to remember that ward placement myself, because you put that there and you're able to see if one of the wolves is still there. Going to keep one up to slow Jarvan's jungle down a little bit. That way he needs to kill that last wolf before that camp goes on its respawn timer. Could possibly decide to do the Rift Herald. Yep, jumping in. I believe Skor has used his ultimate on Shyvana to try to get this. Oh, no, he didn't use the ultimate just yet. This is going to be spotted out by Blank. Going to knock Shyvana off of the objective, which is all he wanted to do. Could be a dive on top lane, but because it's a Vladimir and he's got stopwatch, it's not really recommended that you dive him on turret. So seeing that ward on the top side of mid, Skor clearing it out, 89 farm here, just under 12 minutes. Great farm score. Really strong farm score. We're trying a second time for this, and with the help of Gnar, when you have help from a laner, it's generally a sure thing to get this. It's when you're doing it alone and really anybody sees you, you kind of have to back off. So Dragon going to be heading over, so that was a on-purpose trade. SKT knew they were losing Rift Herald and decided to take the Dragon instead. Generally the Rift Herald is the one who comes out ahead of that trade, but if you're not able to use the Rift Herald effectively, as in you don't get a tower, then the Wind Dragon generally doesn't work for you. Being able to get into those right positions, get those dodges, be able to select the fight that you want because you're faster. So you can choose the ground that you want. In the battles of antiquity, often the battle was won based on the ground that the battle was fought on. So traditionally you wanted the high ground when you were fighting, particularly if you were on cavalry, because if you're able to charge downhill with a horse of full cavalry, there is very few infantry line that could stand to your heavy cavalry charge. So often, like Sun Tzu would say, that the battle is won or lost before you fight. So mixing in a little bit of medieval battle theory with Sun Tzu's Art of War, this is the type of casting style that you get with RavExel casting. The premier Canada casting of League of Legends and the occasional StarCraft Brood War match. But enough about me and my sayings and trove of useless knowledge. Back to the game. We have a 100 gold lead by KT. They did win the first game. They won the first game, and SKT switched out their top laner, bringing in one of their subs. So pesky YouTube keeps advertising here, but that is what's happened. Sub Tal is doing just fine, going even in the top lane, which against Gnar and your Vlad is exactly the position you want to be in. So Tal doing a great job here, being subbed in, doing his part. And really, when you're joining such a prestigious team such as SKT, you're just looking to not be a detriment to your team. You're not necessarily looking to hard carry. You're just looking just give Faker the tools, give Def the tool. I mean, not Def. Give Bang the tools. Like these are your carries. You just need to not get crushed, and Tal's done that. 0-0-0, even farm in the top lane with one of the best scaling champs in the game. So we'll revisit who scales better on this comp. But first, let's talk about this top lane push. So Skor going ahead and using the Rift Herald along with Smeb pushing in that top lane. I don't see any way how that top lane gets saved, and it seems to be going down. Vladimir teleporting down to try to get the odd man advantage here in the bottom. It's a 4-on-2. Make that a 5-on-2. SKT needs to get something out of it. They're putting all kinds of pressure on the map. KT is pushing 2 on the top. This is a big trade going over. They have 2 pushing with Rift Herald. They're going onto the top. They're going to take 2 towers for an exchange of a team fight loss. Wow. Big advantage over for KT, and SKT cannot be happy with that. 5-man showing in bot lane, only getting the support Alistar. And yes, Mata is known for his Alistar, but it's not worth a 5-man convergence on it. And not even getting a tower, 2-tower push for that Rift Herald. And so we were counting about, is it going to be worth it? Wind Dragon for Rift Herald? Yes, it is. Now, can you get this Faker killed? Now it's worth it. That was worth it there, Mr. KT. Another good trade. Baiting the jungle, getting the kill on Faker. KT swinging the game into their advantage. Now, it's not just yet. They have to go back and spend this money that they just got. If they can knock down this bottom tower as well, that's going to be 3 towers worth of gold that they still haven't purchased on. And this is where the lead could open up. Here, we're going to see what the gold lead is after this. Yes, it's at 1100 now, but we know that's going to be moving up in the very near future. There we are. Tower down, and not quite 2,000, so we'll go 1,800. So 1,800 gold lead from KT. They're going back and buying those said items. On wants to get out of here. Slight hesitation by Blank. I couldn't have done any better, I know that for sure. But Blank thought about it for a second and then went in, and it was just a little bit too late. Faker pushing in mid lane. Mid lane turret not very damaged. So yes, as I was saying, that Azir does have the pushing advantage against Pawn, but both mid tier 1 turrets still up. And so Shyvana not looking so bad of a pick so far. All kinds of tools for SKT. They got the Kalista ultimate. They have Jarvan jumping in with his ultimate. You have Vlad that can dive and use his pool to get out. So they have all kinds of engages and counter engages. Don't forget Azir's ultimate as well, used for both purposes. So a very versatile team on SKT. Whereas KT is looking to get more advantages around objectives and through a level in CS lead through their jungler. So already with the turret advantage, once again is KT. SKT picking up that first Wind Dragon once again. This is just like last game. A little bit of damage onto Vlad, but as you can see, it doesn't take a whole lot. Went with the second item, Proto Belt. So that's not an item we see all the time on Vlad, but we have seen a little bit more recently. Now, when you're in your dragon form here, Shyvana is generally when you want to fight. This is when you're strongest. But Shyvana saying to his team, delay, I'm not there. Come on, guys, I want to play too. Death getting a little bit of damage out towards him. Poke coming out from KT. SKT retreating back into the mid lane, looking to push some creeps, get the wave onto their side. Spooky Ghosts out from Vladimir. That's right, it's Vladimir with the Spooky Ghosts. Fighting hard for this Ocean Dragon. They're not necessarily fighting just for the Ocean Dragon, but both teams are looking for a team fight win. There's Azir ultimate into the Jarvan EQ. Jarvan being able to pick up the first kill onto Pawn, then coming out after with the Vladimir taking out the AD carry deft, following up by Mata. That is a 3-0 for SKT, and all of a sudden they're right back into this game. All this careful macro movements by KT destroyed all in a second by SKT, and this is a 20-minute Baron. This is a very big risk. I don't think that Shyvana is necessarily even thinking that they could be there. I mean, they did see them walk towards that direction, but yeah, the 20-minute Baron without even a dedicated tank, just with all the damage from Vlad, Kalista, Jarvan, Azir. Well, Azir coming a little bit late, and Shyvana taking what she can get and going down to that Ocean Dragon. So here we're going to see the engage by Faker, knocking up the Ryze, who then gets knocked up one more time, and it's all she wrote there for Ryze after those first 2 CCs. Then following with the AD carry and support, the whole team converging right under that tier 1 tower, providing only minimal protection for KT. On doing some sort of stutter step. Wanted to make sure in case there was somebody in that bush. Thought he was just trolling for a little bit, but he was just trying to fake if somebody was there or not, trying to get them to react. High-level maneuvers, these top Korean players in the world. It's a little hard to relate playing over here in mid-level solo queue in NA. Getting the blasting cone is blank. So really you're looking to lose the minimal here as KT. You have 4 outer turrets, 2 in the mid, 1 top, 1 bot. And really losing 1 or 2 turrets is not too big of a loss. So I imagine they're going to give this first one up without too much of a fight. Perhaps they're going to try to put a little more effort into this second one. Azir setting up the Tower of Power behind him. Good poke coming out. Tower at health. Dragon, a Baron at 1 minute 25. Vlad doing his split push and working on this third turret. Well, they still have number 2 and number 3 being damaged, but 2 of them currently being worked on. There's that second one going down. Baron still at a minute. SKT known as the most efficient Baron team in the, I would say, the entire world for the last 3 or 4 years. Just how their organization and team plans around it, when they choose to do it, how they use wave manipulation and vision to their advantage. It was definitely something to study if you're any other team in the world. But this is a new year. This is 2018. This is only week 2. Game 3. SKT is 1-1. KT is also 1-1. As I was saying, KT losing against Afrika, winning against MVP, and SKT winning against Rocks Tigers, but losing against Jin Air Green Winds at 94 minutes, the Crusher. Here in the 2018 season. So, SKT being pretty happy with taking those mid two turrets out. Baron is now out. KT looking to engage here. They now have 5 members, whereas SKT does have Vlad in the bot lane, does not have teleport. Changing that out for the Ghost, which is what you want to switch back and forth between for the Vladimir, is you either want to have that Ghost or you want to have TP, and you just keep switching it in and out depending how the game goes with the Unseen Spellbook, which is the go-to for Vlads, both in solo queue and in team play. So far, only Faker going down. It was an invade by KT into the jungle and caught Faker a little unawares, but it's only happened once and hasn't happened to anyone else on the team. Look at these zombie wards all over the place. What a lot of the top pros are saying is you have to assume there's vision in now every bush because of all these zombie wards. And you have the jungler and the support both starting that ruin. Tends to be quite frequently that you have these. Going for the double. Actually, wow, that was actually very well timed. He got Alistar, and Shyvana had to jump into the Cataclysm. So getting both of them inside. This is SKT engaging on this. KT trying to fight under the tower, but it does not look like it's going their way. Big Gnar for 3 people. One going golden, picking up one. Can they get Tal? But they cannot. The pool getting just out, and the big 2 for 5, and with 30-second timers, you think that it's going to be at least one Nexus turret, but maybe not even. They know they can't finish, so they're going to just not even go for it. Probably the smarter idea. They could have got one, possibly 2 Nexus turrets, but they would have gotten wiped afterwards. Not really worth it. So there he trapped 2 and got Shyvana to jump in. So very effective Cataclysm there from Jarvan. And he goes down, but Faker picking up the kill onto Alistar, and then one going on to Vayne. Kalista getting picked up towards the end of that, and Vlad was just about to die, but managed to pull out just in the nick of time. And the survivability on this Vlad with stopwatch, well, he used to have a stopwatch. He just used it, but stopwatch / hourglass and pool and spellbook is pretty wild. The Baron is just up. Shyvana just picked up the Scuttle Crab, so we'll have some vision and utility up and around the Baron. Not wanting to get caught. Got 3 top, so they're using everything to try to get this kill, and they will be effective doing so. 4 top, so this could be either a free Baron or a free push. Let's see what they decide. They want to finish this game. They learned from the Jhin era game. They're not going to worry about Barons. They just want to get kills, towers, and finish this game out. So perhaps at another time, in another year, they would have went Baron immediately there, but wanting to make sure to secure another kill or a team fight advantage, and they're looking for inhibitors. Barons are just not going to do it anymore. There's bottom going down. 3rd inhibitor about to go up, but as I said, against Jhin Air, they did have 3 inhibitors down, but they are doing this little different order. They knocked down the last 2 inhibitors. Now they're going to go for Baron. So they weren't able to finish it off against Jhin Air, but this is a different team. This is a different series. KT up 1-0 against SKT. I do see them doing it, but it's not going to be nearly enough. There's no point even going there. Varus started, but didn't even get to red buff. Looked like he was freaking out seeing Mata come up there in the top lane. No, don't worry. Cow is on your team. Don't worry, Deft. I have not seen the Alistar be doing too many proactive plays. It really seems like this game has fallen away from KT. It was close early, but this SKT squad in the mid game has just been able to take over, and here are the waves being pushed up in mid and bot lane. They may not even need the top lane. That's frankly going to push itself. They don't need anyone to help it. So they have 2 forced waves being pushed in mid and bot. Top one going to push itself. The absolute safest place to do is to wait after this wave is done and then push when you have all 3 waves back into the base. So let's see if they're going to do that or whether they go a little bit early. So they're waiting, they're waiting, they're waiting. Third wave is at the inhibitor in top wave. There it is, being helped by the Callista. Now they have all 3 waves. Now they're going to go in, and now they're going to go and finish the game. One down. Going to be picking up the other. KT drastically trying to save, destroy these minions before they flood their base, but it's just a little bit too late. Finishing this one out smart is SKT, and they learned their lesson. These last 10 minutes of this game have been nearly flawless, and this is clearly, they did not look like this with in the Jin Air game, because they would have been able to close that out. Good performance there by Vladimir in the top lane. So Tal, I believe, not even dying. Definitely didn't die in lane, and unless he died right at the end of the game, no deaths. Wouldn't go so far as to give him player of the game, but let's see. Who should get it? I'm going to say it was Faker who gets player of the game. Yes, you know what? He's the only one who died, but his engages in the mid lane to start some of those team fights. So his engages on our Zir, and yeah, I would say that would have to be player of the game. Now at 1-1, and yes, YouTube, we will watch the third game. 1-1, RavExel. LCK 2018 LCK Week 2, about to be Game 3, KT versus SKT.